Big update for international students planning to study in Canada. Canada has introduced stricter financial scrutiny for study permit applicants. Immigration officers will now look much deeper into your financial documents and the source of your money before approving your study permit. What exactly has changed, and how could it affect your application? Stay with us until the end, because these new rules could impact every future international student. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're planning to study in Canada or already preparing your study permit application, today's update is extremely important. Canada has officially updated its financial assessment guidelines for international students. While the required amount of money has not changed, immigration officers now have greater authority to verify your financial background before making a decision. Let's break down every important detail. Canada has introduced tougher financial checks for international students applying for study permits. According to updated guidance from Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, also known as IRCC, immigration officers are now instructed to carefully examine not only how much money applicants show, but also exactly where that money comes from. This means officers must determine whether students have genuine, reliable, and sufficient financial support throughout their entire period of study in Canada. The updated instructions clearly state that, in every application, the source of funds must be assessed before a study permit is approved. Under the new guidance, immigration officers have been given broader authority to request additional supporting documents whenever necessary. These documents may include personal records, family information, financial documents, and even employment-related evidence. The purpose is to confirm that applicants are financially capable of supporting themselves during the entire duration of their academic program. Previously, additional financial reviews were generally recommended only in very high-risk situations. However, that wording has now been removed. Instead, officers can now request additional evidence whenever they believe it is necessary based on the facts of an individual application. This gives immigration officers greater flexibility during the assessment process. One of the biggest practical changes involves bank statements. Applicants may now be asked to submit up to 6 months of bank statements as financial proof. The updated instructions also specify that officers may request statements from the month of application or the month immediately before submitting the application. Previously, the guidance generally referred to 4 months of bank statements. Although not every applicant will automatically be required to provide 6 months of statements, immigration officers now have the authority to request them whenever needed. Applicants should therefore prepare complete and consistent financial records before applying. Canada has also expanded the list of acceptable proof of funds. Applicants can now use additional financial sources such as pension income and income earned from rental properties. These sources may help demonstrate that students have stable and legitimate financial support during their studies. At the same time, one previous example has been removed. The earlier guidance mentioned a bank draft that could be converted into Canadian dollars as an example of financial proof. That example no longer appears in the updated instructions. The changes also affect students who are already studying in Canada and wish to extend their study permits. Immigration officers have now been instructed to verify whether extension applicants have enough money to support themselves during the first year after the extension is granted. This means financial assessments will continue even after students arrive in Canada. Maintaining clear financial records throughout your studies will therefore become increasingly important. One important point is that Canada has not increased the minimum amount of money students must show. Applicants are still required to demonstrate that they can cover tuition fees, travel expenses, and living expenses. For a single applicant studying outside Quebec under the standard study permit stream, the required living expense amount remains $22,895 Canadian dollars. So while the financial requirement itself has not changed, the verification process has become much stricter. These stricter financial checks are part of Canada's broader effort to strengthen oversight of its international student program. A government review previously identified concerns regarding the growing number of students flagged for possible non-compliance compared with the available resources to investigate those cases. Officials want to ensure that applicants genuinely have the financial capacity to complete their studies without facing financial difficulties after arriving in Canada. If you plan to apply for a Canadian study permit in the coming months, careful financial preparation is now more important than ever. Make sure your bank statements are consistent and easy to verify. Be prepared to explain the source of every major deposit. If your parents, relatives, or sponsors are funding your education, keep all supporting documents ready. Any income from pensions, rental properties, salaries, or other legitimate sources should also be properly documented. Clear, genuine, and transparent financial records can significantly strengthen your study permit application. In summary, Canada has not increased the amount of money international students must show. However, immigration officers will now conduct much more detailed reviews of applicants' financial documents and the source of their funds. Applicants may need to submit longer bank statements, additional supporting evidence, and clearer documentation to prove that they have sufficient financial resources for their studies. Preparing complete and transparent financial records has now become one of the most important parts of a successful Canadian study permit application. That's all for today's important Canada immigration update. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the latest international student visa news, immigration updates, and study abroad information. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.